Hi YouTube, it's Lori. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to make some Valentine's window clings using cookie cutters and silicone. I had this idea in my head for a while, but I don't know how it's going to work out. The supplies you'll need are cookie cutters, and you can use any kind you want. You could do Christmas, you could do Valentine's, you could do Easter. Since Valentine's is coming up, I'm going to do hearts. Cookie cutters don't lay perfectly flat. When you look at it really close, there's a little bit of a gap kind of down at the bottom here. So I'm going to show you how to kind of seal that off before you make your silicone window clings. I'm going to pour them on wax paper. So I'm going to pull out a piece of wax paper, and then I'm going to put the cookie cutters down on the wax paper. We're going to use clay. You can actually use any kind of clay. Modeling clay works just fine. I'm going to use Sculpey because I have a ton of Sculpey. We're going to line the around the outside with our clay. And then we're going to mix equal parts, part A and part B, of whatever kind of silicone you want. This is Ecoflex 20. You can use dragon skin also. Then we're going to add our pigment. I'm going to make probably some a pink heart and maybe a little bit darker pink or a red heart. And that should be it. So let's get started. Then I'm going to set my cookie cutters down on it. I'm going to take my clay. I'm just going to roll out a piece of clay like a long snake. Sorry, I'm trying not to move the camera. What you're going to do is make it into a long snake, and then you'll put it around the cookie cutter, and that will just prevent the silicone from leaking out, because like I said, this is not a completely flat surface against the desk, and so if I pour silicone in here like this, then the silicone is going to kind of leak out the bottom. So the point of this is just to kind of plug it up so that the silicone will stay in before it, and let it cure. So I'm just going to line around the outside here. Just kind of push against the cookie cutter and then down against the wax paper. That will make it seal. That one's just the right size. Make sure it's snug up against the cookie cutter. Okay, now I have the clay around both of my cookie cutters. Now I'm going to measure out my silicone. So I use a scale just to make it easier for myself. First I'm going to pour in part A. And it depends on how thick you want your window clings to be. I'm going to mix in my pigment. I'm going to go degas it since I have a degasser, but you don't have to do that. This makes it a little bit more smooth with no bubbles. So there's the silicone. I'm just going to use a mixing stick. And I think I'm going to do a little bit of white first. Let me grab some toothpicks. Just grab a little bit of the white. Mix that in. And I'm just going to mix in a touch of red so that we can make pink. Okay, this is the silicone, so it's kind of a hot pink color. And let's see if this works out here. What I'm going to do first is just pour this in. Hopefully it will not leak out the sides. I'm going to pour about half in this one and half in the other one. Okay. So that's one pink, and I'm going to pour a little bit more pigment in this one of the red. Let's see if I can just get one a little bit darker that's a little bit more red. Okay, so that's a little bit more of a red color. And now I'm going to pour it in our other heart. And since I'm not degassing this again, I'm going to pour a really thin stream and try to minimize the bubbles. Might even save just a little bit of this red, and when this is a little bit set up, then I can drizzle a little bit of the red on top of it and maybe make a little design or something. Alright, so we're going to let those cure, and then we'll come back and see how they turned out. Okay, these have been sitting here for a few hours, so they are now cured. And what I did was I took just the little tiny bit that I had left and I put it in the freezer because that inhibits the curing time. So now what I'm going to do is just drizzle a little bit of the red on top of the pink, just to make a little design, just to make it a little bit different. Just like that. Okay, and just to add a little bit of design to the other one, I mixed up just a little bit of yellow Ecoflex 20 in here with the yellow pigment and a little bit of white. And I'm just going to drip it on. So put it on the end of this paintbrush and just kind of drip it on. See if we can just make a little design. Okay, that looks pretty terrible, so now I'm mixing a little bit more of the pink on top, and then just kind of swirling it in with the yellow just to make it more of a marbled look. Of course, you can make any design that you want. Might be fun to do Easter eggs and decorate little Easter egg window clings. Alright, so we'll go ahead and let that cure, and then we can demold them and see how they work. Okay, it's the moment of truth. So first I'm just going to take off the clay around the outside part of the cookie cutter. There's a little bit on the clay there so you can see that it would have leaked out. Okay. Here's the bottom. Inside, I'm just going to kind of push it out, peel it out here. And do it gently so I don't tear it. But it's pretty easy to peel away from the metal. Just like that. That's a good thickness, I think. Okay, now we'll take the other one out. Just going to kind of slowly peel it away so it doesn't tear. Okay. So they're actually these are actually pretty thick, but you can use these just like as a squishy, stretchy toy. Or you can put them on a window or even on a desk. See if I can find a place to put these so I can show you. They're sticky, so they'll pretty much just stick anywhere. So these are our little silicone cookie cutter hearts. It's a super fun and easy project. Thanks for watching.